It's early signing day right here. This is the Locked On Ole Miss Podcast. We got Bill Flowers coming up in segment 2, and we're going to get you all primed for the day's events that are going to come down the road. So stick around. This is the Locked On Ole Miss Podcast.
Your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Stephen Willis. This is the Locked On Ole Miss Podcast. It is early signing day. I'm very excited about this. All in all, I expect today to be a not eventful day, really, if that makes any sense at all. But we'll see what happens regardless, because there have been days on signing day that I thought was not going to be eventful that turned out to be quite eventful. So we'll see how it goes. But thanks for making the Locked On Ole Miss Podcast your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms, including soon-to-be YouTube. The Locked On Ole Miss YouTube page is being constructed as we speak. Temporarily, you can catch it over at the Y'all's Conference Network. We're just putting it there for time being. And getting used to what's going on. This will be a live show in January, and over in this area here will be the chat module that you'll be able to participate in the show. Should be a lot of fun. But before, without any ado, let's get started with what's going on. Let's take a look at the commitment list right up first thing, and just picture that Xavier Harris, he's a big mountain of a man. He's probably the most important or second most important player in this class. He's going to line up and play that nose guard position. I mean, 6'8", 330. He's just a huge guy, and he will absolutely be a presence in the middle. It's a great get. Quinshon Judkins from, I think, Pike County in Alabama is a great running back. He is basically TJ Yeldon 2.0. He has the quickness of Jerry and Ely and the speed of Jerry and Ely with the size of Snoop Connor. Just a heck of a player. He's going to probably get early playing time. Taylor Groves, another great player out of Tennessee, out of the Nashville area, I believe. I expect him to come in and contribute one way or another. And then you got Larry Simmons and Jacarius Clayton, and, you know, they're in-state Mississippi guys. They got offered, so you know they can play. Timmy Gagaffian is from Texas. I think he's going to be a February signee, so don't be surprised if he doesn't show up on the list. Jeremiah Dillon is a great player. I think he's from down in Tylertown. Kyron Heath, a tight end out of Texas. Serious Evan Ingram vibes with him. Preston Cushman from up the road from me down here in Clearwater. Reginald Hughes, a JUCO out of Mississippi. Jarrell Stinson, a speedster playing DB. I expect him to be a playmaker as this moves forward, to play in that box safety type role. Nick Cole, DB out of Georgia. I have him listed as a linebacker there, but I think he's a DB. And Jalen White is one of those tweener type players that's going to be like 6'3", 6'4", 210, 215 pounds, but can really run. So they have that going for them. Sorry, I'm just a little bit under the weather still. But that is the projected commitment class. Whenever you look at high schoolers, that is what we are looking at for tomorrow. Now, are there going to be extra players? Yes. I think Davison Abusin, can't pronounce his name. If I mess up your name, I apologize. I'll get it right by the time the season starts. There's other players than surprises that could hit, but I'm expecting somewhere in the neighborhood of 13 to 17 signees tomorrow, somewhere in there. And, like I said, if this part is relatively uneventful, where is the drama going to come from? And I think the drama is going to come from the transfer portal and what we can expect from the transfer portal. I think, and this is just an opinion, this is just me reading the tea leaves and trying to connect dots. That's the only thing that's going on here. But Lane Kiffin likes to make a splash on big days like signing day. You remember what last year looked like on signing day. There's rumors of players decommitting and recommitting and coming back to Ole Miss. That was the MJ Daniels. And they thought it was being done on purpose for headlines, which it might have been. Could very well have been. But if that is the case, I think we can expect some sort of a surprise on signing day tomorrow. I think it's going to happen in the transfer portal. And in doing that, I think I'm hopeful. Well, I'll put it like this. I'm hopeful that we hear word from Deion Smith, Zach Evans, and Dylan Gabriel more. That's what I'm hoping for. What I think is going to happen, I think we're going to hear from one, maybe two of them. And if that happens, it's going to be a successful early signing day. We move on to Sugar Bowl prep in earnest and kind of get ready for everything that game could be. And it has a chance to be really special. This is a game. We talked about this. I'm going to talk with Josh Neighbors, I think, Thursday afternoon. I'm going to talk with him about the game, and that'll end up on the Friday Lockdown Ole Miss podcast, potentially maybe the Monday podcast. But when you look at Baylor, they are LSU from 2011. Maybe not as good as that team was, but they're constructed very much like that team. Dave Aranda has brought the Les Miles system and thought process to Baylor, and it just works. You see a lot of stuff that is very successful at a place like Iowa that you don't understand how it works, but it works. They use their tight ends. Very high probability success rate passes and a couple of one-on-ones that they use offensively, but they want to beat you 20-17, 24-14, 24-20. Somewhere in there is the scoreline where they're comfortable. So if you watch the Sugar Bowl and everything is going on, if the scoreline is around there, you know that they're in control of what's going on because you know how Ole Miss wants to play. Ole Miss wants to score in the 30s. If Ole Miss gets in the 30s and has control of this game, then you will actually see that they're able to impose their will on Baylor, because it's one of those situations to where if Ole Miss scores so much, there's a point where Baylor just can't keep up. Now, Jerry Bohannon or Gary Bohannon, I'm not 100% sure about the pronunciation. I'll get that figured out in the next couple of days. Him playing quarterback, there's a dual threat weapon, a little bit of a KJ Jefferson. There's an element of the quarterback run game that they like to do, even though they line it up tight and they run the ball. Basically, I think they have a converted linebacker at running back, and just because he is a bulldozer back there. So Ole Miss has to bring their lunch pail and be prepared to tackle, because they're going to be called over and over and over again on to tackle the running back. So that's one thing. If Baylor is able to physically impose their will and this game ends up in it like Baylor wants it to, Ole Miss could be in a little bit of trouble. If Ole Miss plays their game and impose their will, Baylor definitely will be in a little bit of trouble. So if it's somewhere in the middle and goes back and forth, it's going to be very interesting. But like I said, if this game gets in the 30s, there's a chance it'll get to a point where Baylor just can't score with them, can't keep up. And like I said, it is what it is. So that's the signing day. As far as high school kids tomorrow, I'm expected today to be relatively uneventful. I'm recording this on Tuesday evening, and just because on Wednesday I'm starting some radiation treatment, so I want to make sure this is in the can and booked and everything. Over the next 2 weeks, I'm doing that. That's the reason. Another reason after the new year, you'll see the Locked On Ole Miss podcast go to 10 o'clock where it's been and be a live production. So pretty excited about that. Also, the first episode of the Locked On Ole Miss podcast on YouTube, I just temporarily put it on the Y'all's Conference Network YouTube, and it is currently at 3 times what the Palmcast was doing. Fantastic. It's just a fantastic thing. So thank you very much for that, because all of this is because of you. Absolutely all of this is because of you. So anyway, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back with Bill Flowers, and he's going to talk about the Sugar Bowl and about signing day and all that for about 8 minutes, and we'll come back and talk a little bit more about signing day after Bill's done. This is it, the putt to win the tournament. If you sink it, the championship is yours, but on your backswing, your hat falls over your eyes. Is this how you're running your business? Poor visibility because you're still relying on spreadsheets and outdated finance software? To see the full picture, you need to upgrade to NetSuite by Oracle. Over 27,000 businesses already use NetSuite, and right now, through the end of the year, NetSuite is offering a one-of-a-kind financing program to those ready to upgrade at netsuite.com/lockedonnca. Head to netsuite.com/lockedonnca for your special end-of-year financing on the #1 financial system for growing businesses. That's netsuite.lockedon. That's netsuite.com/lockedonnca. So you give those guys a good look. They're the #1 cloud financial system that will help power your growth, and basically, it's a pretty good deal. So give them a call, netsuite.com/lockedonnca. Bowl season is here, Ole Miss fans. Basically, you can set up entry and handle daily fantasy through PrizePicks. Use promo code LOCKEDON for your entry. PrizePicks is the leader in college sports daily fantasy. It offers more college football and basketball props than anyone in the world, and offers the all-star players of the Power 5 as well as the mid-major players you might not have even heard of. PrizePicks offers any prop you can think of. In basketball, you can play points, rebounds, assists, threes made, or more. All of your users that deposit and use the promo code LOCKEDON will get a 100% instant deposit match of up to $100. Just use promo code LOCKEDON. Basically, you pick 2 to 5 players and an over-under on their projections, and you can win up to 10 times. On any entry, it's just you versus the projected numbers. PrizePicks allows multiple sports. You can take the over on Mahomes and the under on LeBron James. Use the award-winning app for the App Store and Google Play. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. It's that easy. So PrizePicks offers safe and fast withdrawals. That's PrizePicks. Promo code LOCKEDON for your entry today. All right, thanks again for making Locked On Ole Miss your first listen every day. Make sure to check out the Ultimate College Football Preview 2021, local experts, betting advice, and draft analysis. The most comprehensive football playoff. Our preview begins this weekend. I do want to tell you that Ole Miss just got a commitment. This is obviously, I'm filming this the day before. Rodney Johnson is a commitment out of Gadsden, Alabama. He apparently has Kentucky and Auburn offers. He's a defensive back. He is, let's do this. It's not very good pod, but let's just give this a look. I think he is, let's see. Let me bring it up so I can get him exactly what we think. All right, he's 5'11", 160 pounds. He is a consensus 3-star. Has offers from Arizona State, Arkansas. Shows Arkansas State. If you look down, he has a fairly decent offer sheet to be a mid-80s consensus on 24/7. But he committed to Ole Miss. I don't know exactly what the plan is. Do they want to put him on the outside? Do they want to put him on the inside? I just do not know that at this point. I don't know much about this guy. This just broke. But he probably fits the need and the mold of what they do. The Jalen Whites, the Markevious Browns, the MJ Daniels, all those players play a similar way. I'm curious to see if he plays inside or out. And how much weight he can put on. 160 pounds is pretty slight. Although you would think he is quite the burner at that height. And I think his rating is mainly towards the fact that he weighs 160 pounds, which if they're listing him at 160, you can probably assume that he weighs somewhere around 150. So he's probably very, very slight, but very, very fast. And I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. So that brings the commit list up to 14. I'll bring that up real quick again. And just so you can see it, I have not added Rodney Johnson. But there you go. 5'11", 160 pound Gadsden City's class of 22. But you can see Xavier Harris, Quinshon Judkins, Taylor Groves. I expect all three of those to be impact guys. There might be only a 3-star for Quinshon Judkins, but he is a special, special running back. Larry Simmons and Jeremiah Dillon at wide receiver. Expecting good things there. The only bit of drama that might happen could be around Jacarius Clayton, although I don't think it will. Timmy Gargaffian is signing in February. Nothing to worry about that, but he's just late signer. Kyron Heath signing. Cushman is signing. No worries with Reginald Hughes. Gerald Stinson. No worries. Nick Cole. No worries. Jalen White. No worries. So that is the signing list. I mean, there could be drama. There's always a potential for drama when it comes to signing day at Ole Miss. There's always something that could happen. They've had a year to try and figure out how to do it and make a production after MJ Daniels did what he did last year. So there could be something along that realm. But the fact of the matter is, Ole Miss is kind of recruiting its own people. It's not really recruiting any against it. You might see a player in Ole Miss and Mississippi State's going head-to-head, and then another player, Ole Miss and Arizona State, might be going ahead, and then another player, Ole Miss and South Carolina, might be going ahead. It's spread out fairly equally, and it's not like a constant hammering of, what you have to worry about in recruiting. And it's not like an Ole Miss, Mississippi State recruiting on all of these. There's not many of those. So that is interesting. Like I said, I do expect this signing day to be relatively uneventful. And in doing so, you're just going to be like, ugh. But it's also part of the de-emphasization of signing day. There are people that just miss like crazy what February 3rd, February 2nd was 6 years ago. Whenever I was embedded with James Franklin, the year that Ole Miss signed that top 10 class with Robert Kimdichie and Laquan Treadwell and Laramie Tunsil and those guys, I was at Vanderbilt. I was inside the McGugin Center at Vanderbilt with James Franklin, and left that unbelievably impressed with James Franklin, by the way. Just, there's people that just have it together. He absolutely has it together. And that signing day was proof of that. But, people want signing day to regain that importance to where you just have the TV on all day and it becomes an event. So the early signing day de-emphasized that a little bit. And then the transfer portal de-emphasized it a little more. And then the one-time transfer fee de-emphasized it a little more to where you have this thing that you're slightly invested in signing day in December, you're slightly in February, and you have your transfer portal stuff that there isn't a signing day during the year. It just goes on continuously, which I think that's probably the area it's going to stop, is they're going to say, okay, signing day is in December and January or February, or February becomes basically the transfer portal signing day. And the early signing day becomes the recruit signing day. And then you have basically, as Kiffin calls it, free agency and your draft class. And obviously that's the way he looks at this. So you have that going on and everything. And signing day gets de-emphasized, and people want that to become a thing again. And they're upset about the transfer portal going year round. And then early signing day takes away, and then the February signing day is just kind of like a ghost town, a shell of what it was. Anyway, we were going to do Bill Flowers today. We could not connect with Bill Flowers today. So I was telling you a little bit about the transfer portal and everything going on within football. When you listen to this show today, this will be before signing day. This was all recorded before signing day. Sometime tomorrow about 1 o'clock, 1:30, I want to record again before my radiation about signing day, if any surprises and stuff happens. So tune in for that, and thank you very much for joining us, and Hope everybody has a good time. All right, BetOnline has you covered all season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before as football continues its march to the playoffs. BetOnline remains your number one spot for sports action all this season. Head to our new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use promo code LOCKEDON to receive your bonus. From basketball, football, NHL, boxing, and UFC to your favorite Vegas casino games, don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for 2021. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts. Yes, have you heard about Built Bar? That's Built Bar. Basically, it's a tasty treat that tastes like a candy bar, even better than a candy bar. It's a Built Bar. It's built with so much holiday goodness, rich and decadent flavor, covered in chocolate, but amazingly low in calories, sugar, and net carbs, along with fat. It's also high in protein. You get the best of both worlds, delicious and healthy. So many flavors, you'll have a hard time choosing. Will you have raspberry or mint brownie or cherry or double chocolate? So many different things are available for you. You friends with Santa? Tell Santa to throw a few Built Bars into those stockings with so many flavors they'd make anybody's Christmas morning a happy one. Go to Built.com, use promo code LOCKED15 and get 15% off of your order. Again, go to Built.com, use promo code LOCKED15 and get 15% off your order. That's Built.com. All right, we are back. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks again for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. Make sure you check out the Ultimate College Football Preview 2021. Local experts, betting advice, and draft analysis. The most comprehensive college football playoff preview begins this Friday. We will take part in that and talk about the Ole Miss Baylor game. I'll be on there with Josh Neighbors. We're recording that, I believe, on Thursday, so it should be a lot of fun as well. Now, you've heard from Bill Flowers. We talked about signing day and things like that. And now we're just in a little bit of a holding pattern. Over the next couple of weeks, the reason I'm recording this ahead of time is because I'm starting radiation, and that'll happen today at about 3:30 Eastern. I will go through radiation and do that type thing. So I'm not looking forward to having to sit still for an hour, but it is what it is. Whenever we get done, hopefully this thing can be behind us and we can move on about our day. It's going to be a lot of fun to do this Locked On Ole Miss podcast. Like I said, I looked at the numbers from the first show and it just blew my way. We're triple what the Bombcast did. Just from the jump. And if that is our starting point, this thing is really going to take off. Eventually, my goal is to get SEC coaches, bring people in from the Y'all's Conference Network to be on the Locked On Ole Miss podcast from time to time. People like Corey Burton, Jake Thomas, like that, and just get them on here and we can do a little interview like when we do around the SEC type situation, and whenever we talk about the conference as a whole, I'll bring them on. I got Bill Flowers as our former player expert that's going to come on to talk about it, as you heard earlier, and we're going to start getting guests and start to do that. And it's going to be maybe not the guests that you're used to hearing from other places, because the point of this is we are first and foremost a commentary site, and we want to offer as many perspectives as we can of what's going on. You don't want to get caught in these small bubbles where everything, everybody's saying the same thing. It got to the point where the media around Ole Miss, the same 5 people are sources. So every site has the same information. It's not a laziness thing. It's just a bubble thing. And this additional perspective situation will broaden that a little bit and give you an idea to think a little bit differently about Ole Miss sports. Maybe about the basketball team or the baseball team or the football team, whatever's going on. Hopefully you can feel a little bit different about it. So I'm pretty excited about that. Thanks for making Locked On Ole Miss your first listen every day. On the next episode, we will hear from Lane, which he'll talk about signing day. That should go up sometime today, and we want to pull that and do some press conference highlights that we do from time to time on this channel. And you'll be able to hear from the man himself how he feels about this class and what's going on. So it won't be long. It won't be the whole thing. It'll be 2 or 3 minutes cut up that we used to do for the podcast, but we want to do that for Locked On Ole Miss as well. Now make the second listen Locked On Bets, your daily one-stop shop for all your gambling needs. Locked On Bets, hosted by your boy Q, with expert analysis and insight from Lee Sterling. It's free and available on all platforms. Thank you very much for tuning in today. It's been a ton of fun. Tune in Thursday morning for more Locked On Ole Miss Podcast. I'm Stephen Willis. Thank you very much. And as always, hotty toddy.